Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining today. Bert here from Dupco Consulting. With me is Jacob from Projectum, and today we're going to discuss controlled agility. Jacob, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm going to hand over to you and probably switch off my camera while you present.
Thank you. Just sharing now, and yeah, let's kick it off. Controlled agility is what probably controlled agility can be so many different things. We are in a context of professional services, company, industrial production. Controlled agility means something different compared to the picture right now. The picture here, supermarket, everyone knows it. You have agility, you have a kid, you have control, you have a parent, and what you basically want to do is you want to control agility. Maybe you want to manage the unmanageable stuff. Reality is that if you have a company, you want to manage your company and you want to control your company, while the company and the organization in itself actually want to be as agile as possible. That will have the flavor of some people in the organization actually following agile methodologies, but as senior management trying to control the company. So we need to find the bridge between a very hard control of the company. We have strategy, we have yearly budgeting, we have stakeholders, we have shares, we have stocks. And on the other end, we want to have agile product development with new releases coming every 14, every month, so that we can stay relevant to the market. So how do we bridge agility and control business? That's what today's topic is all about. In Projectum, we have worked with many clients together with great partners as Dupco. And a lot of those customers, they are in the middle of everything. They're trying to be very agile, but they still want to be in control, because that's why you have a portfolio management office, to be in control of the agile stuff going on. So we will take a journey through the control agility framework, and then we will do a live demo so that we can see how actually Microsoft technology can support customers in having control over the agility in the company. Back, and I think many years back, we had Jim. Jim was one of the co-author and founders of the Agile Manifesto. Many years back, everyone talked about being agile, and take agile mindset and put that into methodology. And a lot of companies out there, they implemented frameworks like SAFe framework, which is, of course, an agile framework to stay agile, relevant to the market, and adapt to changes very fast. Now, 10, 15 years later, the same guy, and actually this is a quote from October last year, says that maybe we went too far. Maybe everyone tried to be agile. Everyone tried to put in agile methodologies and trusted fully that to be 100% agile with agile methodologies will save the world. This quote tells that probably agility is what we want. We want to have an agile company and maybe with an agile methodology. So we want to stay as agility as possible with our company. And sometimes we want to implement an agile methodology. So right now we will distinguish between having an agile methodology and be agile as a company. Today I will talk to being agile as a company, still be in control, while we also have in some business areas that could be product development, we will have agile mindset, agile methodologies, SAFe framework around. But in some other part of the company, we will be more traditional, having a stage gate model, yearly budgeting, strategy deployment, these kind of things. In Projectum, we created a framework to talk about control agility. We trademarked control agility as a framework. And basically what it does is that by having a company strategy on top, typically facilitated with OKR, objectives and key result, methodology for strategy deployment, we will take the senior management focus. We will put in a strategy for the company. Then we will put in larger organization, more governance to control that strategy. Then we will have 3 silos of company execution methods. The first silo will be what we call billable projects. So if you are in professional services, just like Dupco is, just like Projectum is, you will have customer-related projects. Those projects, they will be revenue-driven. You do that because you want to earn money. It will be billable projects, and the methodology around them, they will probably be traditional or agile or a mix of them. Then you will have internal projects. So in our company, we also have internal projects. Those internal projects could be an HR project that could be moved to a new facility, building a new fabric in China. These kind of supporting IT-related projects in the IT department, in the IT PMO, they will create an IT portfolio with internal project. Common denominator for those, they will all be business case driven. We're going to do this because we want to earn some money. So business case driven activities. The last silo, that will be product development. So product development needs a product development department, R&D, new product development. Those product development activities are very often business case driven and very often very controlled by governance. So again, business driven activities focusing on product development. So any company in the world, they might have one or more of those three silos, either customer-facing billable projects, revenue-driven, business case-driven projects, there might be internal projects, and product development that it will also be business case-driven. Across all those three silos of activities in a company, there will be project teams and product teams. The product, as an example, we have created Power PPM. Power PPM is a digital product. You deploy it to the Microsoft platform. So the digital product often relates to digital product development and thereby also very often has a flavor of agility. Very often it has a product team that are fixed, call them a release train. They have agile execution methods. They talk about Kanban boards, stand-up meetings, PI planning session, value streams when they talk about the portfolio. So very often safe related agile methodologies. On the other end, billable projects, when we should build a new bridge over troubled water or build a tunnel to Sweden as a construction company, it's definitely not agile. It will be very, very traditional. So with very traditional methodologies, having very strong governance, quality, a stage gate model, 4-year budgeting of a program, we will relate to put more governance into it, and we will need a tool and processes to support the more traditional flavor of those kind of projects. And then there will be all the projects in between. You will call them a hybrid execution. So when we do a software implementation for a customer, we might start out by being more traditional, looking at requirements, having design and discussion with a customer. But in the implementation stage of that project, we tend to go more agile with sprints, stand-up meetings, deliver a demo of the system every 14 days. And at some point, we will release, we will do some more, we will release, and thereby having a mixture of the more traditional flavor activities with strong governance, because there's a business case, there is a proposal to a customer. But in the execution part of the project, we will be more agile related and maybe use agile methodologies. So any company, they will fit into this model by having one or more of those silos. And every company, they will have a flavor between being very agile to being very traditional. Common denominator again is we need a tool that support all of these capabilities that are needed to be very agile, but also to have a strong governance and a traditional flavor of the portfolio management. All data, it will of course go down to some kind of data hub where we collect information across silos, the internal projects, the billable customer projects, or the product development activities. With that data, it will now, because everyone today will talk about AI, you cannot be 5 minutes on LinkedIn without seeing any post of AI. So artificial intelligence can be enabled on that data set that we collect, even if we have agile methodologies or we have very traditional strong governance. Time management. Many companies, they need time management because they want to, if they have a product development, they want to capitalize their investments. So time management is really, really important to capture hours so that we on our financial statement can capitalize our investment in product development. But if you are in the other side with billable projects towards customer, then you want to capture your hours because you want to invoice the customer. So time management has two purposes: capitalization, where we have strong governance and product development internal projects, and for billable projects, we will have time management tracking hours because by the end of the day, we want to invoice a customer. Across all kinds of execution methods, agile, traditional, hybrid, we will need resource management. There are 200 people in my company. Where are they working? Are they working on customer-facing projects? Are they working on internal projects? Or are they working in the product development? Fixed people, 50 people in that release train. So plan the people and the assets in the company is very, very important. Even if you are very agile, you will do some scenario planning for your company. You will look 5 years ahead. You have a strategy. It's very controlled. You have stakeholders that will care about the development of your company in the next 3 to 5 years. You will need to have a strong governance around it. You will need to make some scenario planning. What will happen if you move this project? What will happen if you kill this project? What will happen if you don't have resources enough? What will happen if you do all this product development? What will happen with your strategy, with your money, and with your people, resources, and assets? So the scenario planning piece is very, very important. This framework for control agility, again, it fits all customers, all companies in the world. It's just a matter of selecting what is more important and where you actually has an operation model in which of these 3 silos. To support this framework, Projectum created the products designed upon that framework. That means that we can handle both very agile initiatives, product development, Jira, DevOps, sprint release planning, and all the way to traditional projects where you sit in Microsoft Project Professional, you do a 4,000 task plan for a construction project, building a new bridge or highway. So we can handle traditional and agile initiatives, and also the hybrid in between. We can create programs. Programs are typically more related to strong governance, where we have a PMO, where we have a program manager, where we have a program that consists of many projects. A program can be bottom up, meaning that all the budget from 10 projects will accumulate to a program budget, but it can also be a top down, that the program budget will be distributed to 10 projects, all handled by the program manager. We will build roadmaps. Roadmaps are individual roadmaps to tell a story. That could be a roadmap of customer-facing projects. It could be a roadmap of product development related. It could be an IT roadmap for IT-related stuff in the IT department. So roadmaps can be built individually by user and thereby also by the silos we just talked about. And then there will be a portfolio layer. The portfolio might be a strategy portfolio, the internal, the product development, the billable portfolio. At the top, we will have the strategy layer. We will have senior management and C-level, and they will all talk about yearly budgeting, strategy the next 3 to 5 years, all interested in controlling the company. So we will now, as we started, saying, how can we bridge the strategy, the very controlled governance piece, all the way down to the agile initiative that might be an epic feature user story in an agile tool. To talk about this, we will introduce you to management disciplines. We can support 10 management disciplines. So you can actually work in the tooling with the framework on strategy, on portfolio, the financial elements in all, both being project portfolio and program financial capabilities, program management, innovation management, talking about ideation, funneling into that could be the product portfolio. The product portfolio could be the digital product portfolio, as we discussed earlier, where I have epics going on a product roadmap and I want to release 4 times a year. Resource management across all activities in the company. Of course, project managers can operate with their projects. The projects can be very traditional, and it can also have a flavor of agility. Then we will have risk management and change management for projects so that we can assess the change that we're going to impact the business with. So following the ProSci change management model, we can assess any given activity in the company might be an agile related activity, or it might be a very traditional related activity. We can assess the change management effort and the impact of the change to the organization and use that information when we balance our portfolio. Opening up the 10 management disciplines, we will open up a bunch of capabilities. All the white boxes here are actually capabilities that are in the tool. So if you're looking for agile execution, you'll be looking for epics and Kanban board. If you're looking for very traditional execution of projects, you'll be looking for a Gantt schedule and a financial capability with a strong business case engine, right? So now it's a matter of playing around with Lego bricks. So if I am a professional service, and in my professional service company, I have customer-facing projects, I will start looking at having a customer-facing billable portfolio. I'll be looking for, in my company, to be in between traditional and agile methodologies. I will have a portfolio management discipline. I want to execute projects. I care about financial money because I want to invoice my customers. So looking at the capabilities, I will be looking at financial capabilities. I will be looking for governance to approve a project to start and not. I will have a Gantt schedule to make an overall traditional plan for my project, but I might use a Kanban in my execution, or maybe I will even connect to Microsoft DevOps or Jira to let the people work in an agile tool to do their stand-up meetings, to do their software development, and then I will retrieve that information to my portfolio. I will not care about resource management in my company because I have a lot of resources, but I would like to have projects to be supported, and I would like AI capabilities to be added on top. Everything needs to be communicated through roadmaps. So right now I actually built those capabilities and the setup for my company. And if I ask you about your company, probably you will highlight different elements on this slide that will be more important for you. Again, all with the focus of having very strong control and agility with a portfolio layer, but also enable the agile methodologies below. Let's talk about the tooling. So as we are Microsoft partners, of course, we are dependent on the Microsoft technology stack, and Microsoft's technology stack has evolved pretty fast over the last couple of years. Very important to focus because Microsoft has 3 clouds. When we talk about project portfolio management related software capabilities, and we talk about the Microsoft technology stack, I will highlight the Power Platform, and I will highlight the Azure technology stack. Because with those 2 technology platforms, we can create what we call a model-driven Power App for the Power Platform, and we can thereby enable some of those new technologies that Microsoft has created. That could be the Copilot. Copilot is one of Microsoft's big bets in terms of the AI agenda. With the AI Builder, we can actually build AI technology capabilities that we can put into project portfolio management. So basically, I could ask the system to create a project schedule for me with use of AI ChatGPT engine. All of these capabilities are in the Microsoft Office 365 ecosystem. And many of you as customers, you also have other line of business system. That might be Jira when we talk about agility. It might be Microsoft DevOps Azure boards. It might be an SAP system for very strong governance around money. So that's also typically where very strong governance meets very agile execution, is that at the one hand, you have a SAP or Microsoft Dynamics platform to be very strong in governance of your money. And on the other end, you have people sitting and creating tasks and bugs and user stories in an agile tool. We want to combine all those line of business systems together with the Microsoft technology stack, and then Projectum built those apps and capabilities around that technology stack. So we have Power PPM on top. Power PPM is the project portfolio management platform where you create your strategy, OKR, your very strong governance. You create projects, ideas. Then we have Time for Teams. Time for Teams is a timesheeting module where you can do a timesheet And we have an app for Microsoft Teams. So you go in every Friday, every Monday morning to Microsoft Teams, you open up your timesheeting app, and then you timesheet your activities from last week. Those information, they could either go all right the way to SAP, or it could go into the PPM, Power PPM, where the project manager can see the progress on any project activities. You could also time for Teams, timesheet on Jira and DevOps activities. Then we have Team Planner. That's the resource management capability. That's where project managers and release trains will see the capacity of the organization. We can send out requests and approvals. So basically a project manager or release train engineer can ask for people, and they can get them committed from the line organization if you're running a matrix organization setup. That's typically what we see. Then we have What If. What If is a simulation tool. So on top, I can do a simulation for my strategy, for my money, and for my resources for the next 3 to 4 years. I can drag around the projects. I can see the impact. So if I move a project 6 months, what will happen with my money? What will happen with my strategy? What will happen with my resources? I can kill projects and I can start new projects. Presented will create automatic generated PowerPoints. So at any given point of time in the system, when you want a status report, you push one button, and thereby you will actually create a PowerPoint of your template with your company color, with your structure, and it will be filled out automatically with data from the Power Platform. And then we have the Data Hub. We call it Power Hub. It's the time machine. Every time you change data in this ecosystem, and that might actually also be when you change SAP data. Because when you change an SAP, that could be actuals from SAP that we import into the PPM system. When the actuals are updated every last day in the month, we will snapshot with Power Hub that historical information. And that means that we will have history over time on all changes in the platform. Also Jira, DevOps, because we will import features and epics from DevOps and from Jira. And thereby we have full history over whatever is happening in our entire ecosystem of our project portfolio. And we can document it, we can understand it, and we can also put our strong governance to it. So with that introduction, I would like to jump to the system and try to do different user scenarios where we will highlight a very agile setup and a very traditional strong governance setup, so that we can see that both strong governance and agile methodology can live in the same system, so that we have the full overview. Let's start by looking at Power PPM. Right now, Power PPM is here. I'm right now at the front page of Power PPM. And in Power PPM, I'm logged into Office 365 with my Office 365 account. Right now, I am both a portfolio manager, product manager, resource manager, strategy officer. So I will see everything, but based on my Office 365 account, I will have the necessary rights to only see what I'm allowed to see. So if I was a project manager in the IT department, I would only see those activities because my authorization of my profile would define what I'm allowed to see. I can create initiatives, and again, we call them initiatives because if you talk very agile, we are not allowed to call them projects. Agile people, they don't like the word projects, so we call them initiatives, and they have maybe an agile flavor or maybe a traditional flavor. I can work with portfolios. I can work with ideas. I can work with my strategy, risk, programs. Everything can be reconfigured. So basically, your company colors will be in here. If you don't care about programs, it will be removed. On my left hand, I have my menu, and here I can look at more detailed capabilities. Look at the list of all my portfolios, look at the list of all my programs, etc. So this way, I have direct access to a lot of the information. Talking about product development, and that's the first use case I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate a part of my company is running digital product development. I have a product owner. The product owner will create different epics to the product, while the product team still are interested in understanding what's happening and planning different product releases, putting a more strong governance to it, while the product team, they work in Azure DevOps or Jira. So that's the use case we're going to look into now. Before we do that, we will look at the company roadmap. So to understand on very top of the company, I've created a roadmap, and this roadmap will highlight all the activities going on in my company. So let's maximize the screen experience. And as we saw on my first slide, I talked about my company will have a strategy portfolio. It will have a product portfolio. I will have a billable portfolio towards my customers, and I'll have an internal portfolio that is more related to my IT department and the IT portfolio. When I open up my strategy portfolio, it's actually possible for me to understand that I have put in a strategy where I want to have a growth in APAC. This is my objective. And then you can see I have key results that is driving that change. And I can see in the timing how my strategy has been planned and how we're going to conquer the APAC region. There's a driver about earning 1 million. I want to have 20% more market share. So this is my strategy, and I can actually follow up on the timing of my strategy. That is definitely not agility. This is very strong governance with a strategy. Also have a strategy about growing web banking in Europe, because my company is all about being a banking institute. So if I want to grow my web bank in Europe, I want to grow web banking with 2,000 new customers over this period of time. Right now, the progress is 0 because I did not do anything yet. At the same time, you can see in my product portfolio, I have a new pension app going on. I have web banking going on in a new version 2. And if I open up my web banking app, I can also see this epic has been planned in this release N23 going into Q2 of 24. I can also highlight my wave releases. So with highlighting my wave releases, which is an agile mindset on a very strong governance of having an overview of activities across my entire company, I can see that the web banking app version 2 will be released in wave 1 2024, and it will also go into a wave 2 release in 2024. Then I have a billable portfolio. This billable portfolio is actually where I can invoice some customers. So I will have some initiatives going on. I can also highlight here the status. It's green. There's a project manager assigned, etc. And my internal portfolio, I have built up an R&D 3-year program. And that program, it actually consists of 2 different projects. And there are also a project manager, and the status is green. So across my entire company, I have a full transparency of what is going on in different portfolios: strategy, product, billable portfolio, and internal portfolio. If I would, I could just add a new swim lane, being Jacob's most important projects, add stuff to it. I'll come back to that later. So the use case is now, let's add a new web banking app version 3, plan it for 24, send it off to DevOps, because in DevOps, the team will work with that epic. They will break it down to features. Once they break it down to feature and start work in sprint planning and start doing use cases and user stories, I want that information to go back into my roadmap so that I can see what are they doing. I don't care about the details, but I still want to have a strong governance of what's happening so that I have a picture of the entire company activities, but I will let the Agile team work very independent in the Agile tool. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to my product list. I'm going to my product, and I'm the product owner of this new pension app or the web banking 2 app. So what I could do is that I could start create a new release of this web banking app. Right now, I'm Jacob. I'm the product owner. I can see I have 2 epics going on right now, and there are 4 features planned for this product. If I go to my roadmap of my product, I can open up my product and I can see all the activities that is going on. I have an update web banking platform that should happen in 23, should have happened already. I can also see there's some money spent already on that product. Then I have the app version 2 going on here. And Bishan has created a new report, and they have also created some features. The blue features here are actually coming live from a Agile system like Microsoft DevOps. It could also be Jira. So let's kick in a new epic. So the new epic I will create, and I will call it Web Banking App Release 44. I will give it a size because talking about agility, say framework, I will size it as a medium exercise. I will put 200 hours aside because that's the best knowledge I have right now in my funnel. I will assign it to Team Beta because Team Beta is the one that should work on it. And I'll give them a start date today. And I will tell them that by December 24/18, they need to be done with this one. So right now we are in a very early stage. If I close this epic, it will be added to my Kanban board. And if you are familiar with the SAFe framework, you will see funneling, reviewing, analyzing, portfolio backlog, implementing, and done. This is actually the SAFe framework that is applied here. Now, with my product team across products and with my product team around this web banking app version 2, I could move this through the funnel and prioritize it. In my analyze stage, I could go down and add some more information around. It could be on the description, acceptance criteria, etc. But by the end of the day, at some point, I would like to kick in and let this app release start. By doing this, I drag it into the portfolio backlog. When this epic is in the portfolio backlog, I have now 300 hours in total going on, 101 from this Bishan new report that is already running activities, and I have 200 hours now ready to work. As I open up this epic, I can now see that the system has automatically created a DevOps link. So by hitting the globus, I will be directed directly into my Azure DevOps environment where the Agile team Beta, they will work. Automatically, the data has been transferred, the 200 hours, the priority. Now the Agile team could start putting in business reality. They could put in some more metadata, and they could tell the product manager that we are now in progress. So this way, an epic can be created, and I can also manage the way that the information should go back to the PPM system. So let's start this epic. I will just scroll down to find it. By opening it up, just need to set it to in progress. This way. Now the Agile team breaks this information on this epic down to features. So this one will be feature 1, log on. And they will also break the epic down to a feature 2, log off, because we have a new release and we need to make a log on and log off feature in this app. These features is now planned in a stand-up meeting, and once they start the work, they could also say, okay, there are like 120 hours here. There are business value, there are some time criticality, and they start the work of it. The other feature will have an effort of 30 hours, business value of something, and they will also tell the product team they have started working on this. The whole essence is that the Agile team, the release train, they will work in the Agile tool, being Azure or DevOps, while the product manager will work in the PPM system where they have more control over whatever is happening across products, etc. So I will just refresh here. And if I click my feature list, you will now see that the feature for this app release has now been synchronized back to my PPM system. And that means that I can actually follow the status of it. And I could also start following a lot of metadata directly for those features. That means that the product manager can take this app release put that into implementation, because we are right now in implementation of it. We now have 4 features in total, 2 from this epic, 2 from this, and in totally right now we have an estimation of 700 hours for our implementation bucket. If I open up my roadmap, I could now start adding stuff in here, but automatically, as you see, my new wave release has been added in here. So I have the features, the timing from DevOps. I have it right in here so I can see it. And if I highlight the wave releases, I can also see the wave release and when it has been planned. This is an example where I create a new epic. I break it down in an Agile tool with features, and afterwards I synchronize it back. And that means that if I go to my roadmap of my entire company, I go to that roadmap we had before, where we have the overview of our entire company, the entire activity across the portfolio. If I go into my product and I go into my web banking app, in here, I see that web banking app version 2 I had before. So it will be possible for me now to set my cursor here, add an epic, search this release we just created, add it in here, and now I will see if I would like to add the features, I could automatically add the features. If I would not like to tell anyone about my feature 2 log off because we are not really there yet to communicate around it, I could choose not to add it, or I could add both of them, add them in, and thereby you will now see that my product portfolio, under my web bank version 2, I have a new app release with the features and the timing we just created directly in the DevOps team. So this is a really, really great example of having a total control and governance of everything happening in a company, traditional stuff, agile stuff, but also the flavor of the very agile integration into the agile tools like Jira and DevOps. If I would like to see the product roadmap for all my products, I could go in and actually sort my product roadmap. And again, I have created a product roadmap. And as you see here, I have a backlog in the top going across all my product releases across different products. So this is all my products with a wave release focus. And if I open up any wave release here, you will see that we have different activities going on in here with different timings. There are different epics. And if I open up an epic, I will also see the features. If I highlight the different wave releases, then I have a full transparent roadmap of all product releases, the timing live from Jira and DevOps. And now in the cross-product team, we could have a discussion of product releases for the next couple of years. So this concludes the story of the Agile setup, where we have very agile methodologies going on with agile tools like Jira and DevOps. But at the same time, we roll all the data up to a portfolio level for the product manager to stay on top and have transparency and visibility. And we can even roll it all the way up to a portfolio manager, which will have the transparency of everything going on in the company, including the agile activity. Now, the other scenario I would like to showcase today is the more traditional flavor of control agility, where we have a focus of more traditional project with a stage gate model, with a business case approval, because we just saw how we can execute with agile methodologies. So forget that for a second, and then let's look at the more traditional approach with a portfolio, with portfolio prioritization, with creating a business case, with putting in a lot of more traditional activities that are also more governed with a portfolio officer. Because then we have seen actually both the agile world and the more traditional work live together in a system. Still Power PPM. And the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to look at the different portfolios that we have. So right now we actually have a portfolio of 24-25. And if I open up my portfolio of 24-25 and I look at the roadmap of the portfolio, I can see a lot of activities. Let me just scroll here. A lot of activities, which are many different projects going on in my portfolio. A lot of information around my budget and financial performance, the project owner, and I also have ranking where I've prioritized my project. Number 1 is more important than number 2, etc. So this is like the classical portfolio overview. But let's go to the very, very top of our company. Let's go in and look at strategy, because in my company, I have a strategy for my company, and the different strategy are in here. So I can see if I have growth in APAC, I have created some objective and key result. And to do this, I probably need some projects, and those projects probably need to be executed to fulfill my strategy. So to show a more classical portfolio setup with strategy, portfolios, and projects, I would like to create a new strategy. And this will be webinar strategy. And the description will be grow my business 20% in the UK market. That could be my objective for my company. I would also put on a lead to it. So in this case, I will put myself on as a lead to the strategy because I'm a strategy officer. Right now, everything is green because we are on track, but nothing of my strategy has been released yet. I would put a time frame to my strategy. So by end of December 25, we should be in control of our strategy by growing my company 20%. Now, this strategy, it needs some key results to drive it. How do I do it? More customers or whatever. So what I could do is that I could launch an AI-generated example of how I could grow my strategy. So with use of AI and GPT engine, I ask Power PPM to create a suggestion of how I can grow my company. As you see right now, it will tell me that I could launch a marketing campaign. I could collaborate with influencers to promote products. I need 200 hours, I need marketing skills, and I need a duration of 6 months. So it actually came up with 3 suggestions of how I could grow it. It also created the data right in the system. Increase customer satisfaction to 90, increase revenue with 1 million, and increase the US market share by 20. So if I'm about to increase my market share with 20%, I will click on that key result, and I will start giving a timing. So first of all, we will start now, and by November 20, we will be done with this. We will measure the performance of my strategy with percentages. Right now, I have 0 market share, and I want to have 20% market share once I'm done with this strategy. This is how I actually set up the measurement of my strategy. That means that I could go into my result of my strategy. I could add my first measurement of my strategy. So as today, we have 0%. We need some attention to it. And thereby, I will now have my first measurement of my strategy with 0%. So to increase my market share, I need a marketing campaign, because the marketing campaign, if I push that to the UK market, I would thereby actually gain some more market share. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is a great example of very strong governance, I start with strategy and I deploy it all the way down to creating the projects that should support my strategy. So I click at creating a new project, and with that new project, I could call it Marketing UK. That's the name of the project. And I will also choose a template for it. So right now, I've chosen a large template for that marketing. That means that I have a stage gate model for my project, and I have the capabilities that we saw with white boxes in the PowerPoint in the start of this webinar. So I can do a timeline, I can work with Kanban, financial, stakeholder, risk, changes, KPA, status reporting, resource management, dependencies, the best dashboard, and document management. So a lot of those features has been enabled in this template. But I could also choose a minor work template. If I do that, you will immediately see that, that the template would change, and I will still have the same stage gate model because I chose, but now I only have timeline, Kanban, team, and financial. So for the sake of the demo, let's continue with the lab template. And I will go to my timeline because as a project manager, I need to follow a structure, a governance of how to run marketing activities. So maybe there is a template already. In this case, I have put in an IT template, I have put in an R&D template, a construction template. And if I don't find a template that is there's also an Agile template here, I could actually create it from AI. So I could ask AI to create a marketing plan focusing on me in the UK, like this. But with AI, with the GPT engine, I will ask about creating a marketing plan, still governed by my very strong governance of my stage gate model up here, right? So I have my stage gate model to follow the nature and the life cycle of the project, while I ask ChatGPT about creating the content for my project schedule. So within less than 1 minute, I will actually have added a lot of activities to a project schedule, so that my project schedule will actually be AI generated. I will open up my schedule. I will collapse everything to level 0, and let's see what AI did for us. It will start with a market research. And as you see the timing, I did not tell it to start right away, so I can just drag and drop my project into let's say 24, so that I have the timing right of my project. Like this. Here we are. Let's see, this is the timing. I want to have some social media strategy set up. I want to have some content creation, and I want some social media implementation and evaluation of my marketing campaign. All this has been created. And if I would like to go in here, I could actually add more activities just by creating my own task, of course, drag and drop and do whatever, but I could also go in and say, add some more work package activities. So this could be create a sprint for app development. Let's see that we will also create an app, certainly. In my marketing campaign, it could be that we also want to create a marketing app where people could, with a QR code, they could scan something, right? Again, I could build up my project schedule, ask AI about what is actually, what does a sprint look like if it's software related? And again, within 1 minute, I can actually create that marketing plan with a flavor of app development. So what you see now is that I have sprint planning, I have design. It is designing a user interface, login functionality, user profile. So definitely it is something about creating an app that has something to do with a digital product. So this is a great example where a project manager can work either template-based on the project schedules, or actually work with AI as a capability. Then we have the Kanban board, because of course we can start updating our Kanban board with progress if tasks have been done, not been done. But talking about more traditional projects, we also talk about a very strong governance. And very strong governance is very often you also have a business case. So right now in this template, I have a CapEx and I have an OpEx where I actually can start putting in, as you see, budgets, actual cost, estimate at complete. So as a project manager, I can start building up a budget for some couple of months. I could go to year level. I could also add some OpEx. That could be internal hours. We need $3,000 or $30,000, and here we need some more money. I could also start doing estimate of complete. So I could also send some kind of estimate to complete signal to the portfolio. All the actuals could actually be imported live from a system. So if I want to import this information from SAP, as an example, because strong governance, we also have SAP around for our invoicing. So I could map this project software to SAP software cost category. I could also do it about the hardware, will be equipment, buildings will be other, internal hours will be internal labor, and licenses will be licenses. Now I have mapped towards my SAP system. So if I go to my project front page and tell that I want this project to synchronize with SAP, it will now be possible for my financial business case to import those financial number directly with hit of this import actual button. So directly from SAP, data will be imported. And again, as IT is happening behind the scenes, in less than typically 1 minute, all the data will be pulled in. So now you see actual cost, and these SAP invoice data has now been imported directly into my project. That means that if I look at a dashboard for my project, I will now start having actuals down here, budget, and also the forecast. I can also see a pie chart of the performance of the financial performance of my project. So data is now slowly building up. As a project manager, I would also like to work with risk. So I could create 10 risk for a marketing campaign in the UK and let AI fill out my marketing campaign with risk related to a marketing activity. Either as a project manager, I could be very creative and find all the risk by myself, or I could let ChatGPT help doing it. In this case, it has now created risk that are related to marketing activities, poor targeting, negative publicity, and I could start, if I disagree with the AI evaluation of the impact and probability, I could drag around and prioritize how I see the impact of the risks. Any now and then, in a very strong governed portfolio, I need to create a status report as a project manager. So I'm a project manager. Today, I'm going to tell that everything is red on my marketing activities. So this way, I create a snapshot of my situation as a project manager. But I could also, for the sake of demo, go to the future, 14 days ahead. I will let AI write a summary, and I will tell my project is all yellow. So now I have a yellow report to tell. If I open up this status report and refresh it, while we are talking now, AI has now it has been updated. AI has been written a status report and highlighted the different information that is important on this project. Now, at any given time, project managers would like to take this status report and send a project status report to the portfolio and to the marketing senior management team, because they want to know what's happening with this marketing UK activity. So by hitting one button, I can actually create a PowerPoint in my company's PowerPoint template and fill it out with information. And these information are already now stored on Microsoft Teams in the collaboration folder where I share information. And by hit of the download button, I can download it to my computer. I can open up my file in my PowerPoint. And now I have a PowerPoint with the marketing UK with today's date, with me as a project manager, with a yellow situation, with a budget we just created with a forecast, with risks related to marketing activities, and with some financial performance that we just did as we created a lot of the test data. So governance in a company is all about reporting, creating status report with a click of a button, getting the PowerPoint. But more important is also that we can roll up this information to the strategy. So I can actually take this project, link it to that strategy that we just created, save it. And let's imagine that this project has now been executed, the project has been closed. I could go in either manually or automatically go in and add a new status to my strategy. That means that we are in the future here. And now we have realized 89%. We were on track like this. So now we can see that the strategy has been realized. Not 100% yet, but this way I can now go to my overall company strategy. I know I typed in too much realization, 400 and something, but what you see here now is that the 148 of my strategy has been realized, because down here I have one of the key results actually delivering the value to me with 89% realization on that activity. That means that at every given time, I can go to a roadmap again. And if we look at a roadmap and we have a strategy for 23 and 24, it's just a strategy that's already in there. I can create different things in here, and I could add objectives. And we just created a strategy being a webinar strategy. I can add that to my roadmap. And here I can go in and add some key results. And I can add all of the 3 key results, save them. And now they have been 2 of them. We did not work on it, but the realization of that marketing event is right here. And thereby the company can oversee the entire company activities, again, across those very traditional, very strong governed stage gate strategy deployment activities, but also in the start of this webinar where we saw those product related activities going on. With integration to Jira or DevOps, the team will work in a very agile focused tool, maybe even with safe framework. But at the end of the day, we have an overall roadmap for the entire company so that we can control the unmanageable thing. So we are still in control while our company is working with an agile mindset. And I think that's everything for today. Thank you for joining, and have any question, feel free to reach out to Bert and the team. Goodbye.
Yeah, Jacob, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Powerful stuff. I'll share this on the normal channels as well, so hopefully we can circle back with some good discussions around this. Thank you very much, and have a great day.